I win. Learn more right after this.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Dog.
how you doing?
All right, brother.
You're still a little under the weather.
Still a little bit under the weather, but I win, you know.
You always have.
I believe so.
Yeah, you always have.
That's my attitude anyway.
So we're talking music today?
Yes and no. Music, but bigger than music.
Bigger than music.
Yeah, I'm talking about life, you know.
That is big.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, you know, great music is a reflection of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's why we relate to certain songs, because it speaks to what we're going through and it speaks to what we've been through. And so good music is about life.
Well, I know our guest today has a CD that's available, so we're going to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a little bit too about the process of getting that created.
Yeah. Well, you know, because a lot of young people that we deal with, a lot of them have these ideas about the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the music industry, like any other industry, you know, it can be ugly. It can be demanding. It has a lot entails, more than just being lucky.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk to Mr. Jones about this, his challenges, his process, and the CD.
Well, I think it should be a really interesting show. When we get back from this break, we'll have our guest, Mikey Jones, with us. So please don't go away.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
With opportunities outside of the classroom.
Where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits to a bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college offers courses that fit my schedule.
It's where excellence begins.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We are very happy to have with us today Mikey Jones. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I know, as usual, as is often the case, Greg knows a lot more about this than I do, so it's all a learning experience for me. But
Yes, sir.
why don't we begin by talking a little bit about your history with music and where this all began for you?
Yeah, well, basically, I am a Rome native, born and raised here in the heart of Rome, Georgia. East Rome, West Rome, South Rome, North Rome. Music was instilled in me at an early age. Some people say I've been singing since I came out the womb, but my first actual time singing was in church. You know, most singers get their start in careers and, you know, starting at the church. But my home church was right up on the hill up on Smith Street, called Springfield Baptist Church. Found a love and a passion for that. Been doing it since, man. And so here I am to talk about my first EP.
When did you begin to distinguish, I guess, between music through the church and something that might be a larger part of your life?
I would say maybe around the age of 12. Actually, I always knew that, you know, singing was a passion of mine overall. And so what I did, I would say I dibbled and dabbed in, you know, I was in church, then I was into, you know, the R&B, in the church R&B. And so I've always had a time of, I guess you would say, kind of straddling the fence. But once I found out what my passion was, I went ahead and went with that. And so that's why I chose to do this R&B neo soul type album.
Mikey, I'm curious because I know you've been doing music for a while, just a variety of different things. So kind of walk us through I'm interested in the process. You know, how do you go from this is something I enjoy doing, something I'm passionate about, to really business? Because this when you have a CD, it's more than just a passion now. Now it's something totally different now. You're in business now. What was that process like for you, just going from taking it from here to this next stage?
Yeah, well, so at the beginning of 2016, I had a fire that was lit under my tail, man. Just came from out of nowhere. As I said, I've always had the passion, but just, you know, back in 2016, I said, I'm really about to give it my all. This is gonna work. And so what I chose to do, I came to the conclusion that if anybody was gonna do it, it would have to be me. I sat down and had a lot of songs that I've written over the years, some older, some newer. Decided to take these 5 songs and do an extended play album, basically to use for a demo project. They call them extended plays now. It's a total of 5 songs on one album. The process was long. It was, you know, some late nights at the studio, trying to get mixing and mastering, get the songs registered through BMI. It's just a lot that goes into it. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it.
Because, and I'm curious, and I want to hear more about the CD, but I'm curious because that process, I don't think most young people, when they say I want to be a music whatever, have a clear understanding of what that entails. And like anything, if you don't have somebody, I guess, kind of to walk you through it, you can make a lot of mistakes.
Oh yeah.
And so, what was that like for you? Did you, over the years, have you met people? I mean, and the cost involved, not necessarily financial, but you know, the sacrifice. I want to talk a little bit about that process, because for any young person out there, clearly you're an example of that they can do it. But at the same time, they need to learn from people who have already done it.
Yes, sir.
And I think sometimes that part just get mixed. They see the people on TV not understanding. It's a lot went through that process.
Right. So basically, as far as me meeting people, I've met a lot of people over the years. I was actually fortunate enough back in September of 2016 to perform at the Dikembe Mutombo Gala. He has a foundation where he gives back to Africa and raises money for that. So I was able to perform at their cocktail hour. I had just finished this CD in September, but I didn't release it until November. Ran into the Dikembe. I've even had a run-in with Andre 3000. It was just kind of like in passing, though.
Yeah.
As far as the sacrifice goes, though, what young men and young women have to realize is that nothing's going to be handed to you. What I did, like I said, I sacrificed long nights, sitting up late at night writing, making trips back and forth to the studio, making sure everything was mixed and mastered. It takes a lot, but if you have it in your mind that's what you want to do, at the end of the day, that's what you want to do, it can come true.
Now the studio that you used was it here in Rome?
It was actually in Atlanta.
Okay.
Solar Sound Studios. Great studio, great engineer by the name of Vance. He was a great guy to work with. And what I like is that when I went in the studio, he knew. He doesn't talk. Somebody's passionate about something when they don't talk. They just basically sit there and do what they're supposed to be doing. So wasn't a lot of questions asked. We got right to it, man, and got the album done.
Because I'm curious too, since I know that at the college level, and I know that you have students too, who dream of doing this exact same thing that you're doing. Did you, for example, registering the songs? I mean, how did you know to do that? How did you know how to do that? Who helped you with those things?
One thing that you always want to be careful of is copywriting your material. Anything could happen. Say for instance, I'm singing a tune, or I know I have this song and I hear it on the radio maybe 2 or 3 years from now. If it's not copywritten, more than likely you're not going to be able to do anything with that. It's basically all about being proactive. You have to get those songs registered through BMI. Normally they're about $35 a song to get copywritten, and so they are registered. Everything is registered.
Now, did you have someone that said, "Hey, Mike, you got to do this," or did you have to learn it yourself? Did you have to teach yourself this whole process? Or?
I had heard of it before as a younger kid, but then when I really started doing the research, I knew there was something that had to be done. I had people in my ear saying, "Make sure you get that copyright." They would also talk about a poor man's copyright, where you would mail it to yourself. Yeah, mail it to yourself. But I said, if I'm going to put my all into this, I'm going to do it the right way. And so that's why I went the correct way with the BMI copyright.
So you did a lot of research.
Yes.
Yourself.
Yes.
To figure out what to do and how to get it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For the most part, I did most of the research. I did have a team of people that helped me as well, to get the bits and pieces together. But overall, the research is very important. It's key.
Because what I'm gathering, and I know this more from the world of writing than from music, about which I know very little. But I know that artists, generally speaking, have one piece of their lives that is the artist, that is the person that creates, in your case, the music, the songs, and performs them.
Right.
But then you have to be someone totally different to do the business aspect.
Correct.
And to promote what you're doing, and make sure that the music gets out to people. And that's completely, it's like they're two different people.
Oh yeah.
How do you balance that? And it's essential, I'm guessing, to have both parts.
Oh yeah. So basically, social media is the way to go when promoting. I have a Facebook account. I have an Instagram account, Twitter. Anything social media with music is going to be a go-to. The promotion thing, you're always wanting to promote. You're wanting to promote something every single day, whether it be a picture, whether it be a video of you singing something. That's key, because you want the right person, the right people to see your talent, and once they see it, they could pick you up just like that. So I never sleep on those opportunities. Man, I always try to keep it rolling.
So do you have videos as well on your Facebook or YouTube?
Yes, I do. We actually recorded a song off of the album. It's an actual video, professional video that was done. It's called "With You." We have that on my YouTube page. I was also blessed back in November 16th, to sing at the Atlanta Hawks game.
Wow.
As the national anthem.
That is cool.
Yeah, that was my first time singing in front of a huge crowd. Phillips Arena. That was a biggie for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a hard song to sing.
Yep. You have to be very careful with that song as well.
Well, that was a biggie for that moment, because what's gonna come?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
make that look very small.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got to talk some about the songs and everything that went into it. We got to take a break, but because when we come back, I do want to talk about that. What does this album say? What does it mean when somebody listen to "I Win"? What they're gonna come away with.
Gotcha.
So we got to take a break, and so when we come back, we can get into that.
Okay, great.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're having a conversation with Mikey Jones, who has a new EP called I Win, which is available
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes, sir. Digital downloads. Yes, sir.
So you can go to
so you
iTunes
real time. You can download it from iTunes,
yes,
Google
sir.
Play.
Yes, sir.
So you can buy one of these old school CDs, but you can get it.
You sure can. If y'all choose to buy the actual physical CDs, you can get that. But you know, everybody's social and digital now, so it's pretty much available as well.
And I can tell you, I just downloaded it on iTunes, and so you can get the whole CD with no problem. When you put Mikey Jones, that's the first thing to come up. I Win.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about this. So what is the signature song? Is I Win? What is that?
Okay. So basically, I Win. You know, growing up in you know, the Rome area, had a lot of struggles, had a lot of disappointments and things of that nature. What I wanted to do, I wanted to give the world a story of who I was. Growing up without a daddy figure. You know, still at this age, still not knowing who my father is. You know, having, you know, issues with my mother, you know, going from house to house, relatives to relatives, you know, getting in trouble. You know, we've all been through it. And so what I wanted to do, I wanted to let, you know, the world know that even though we go through these trials and tribulations, we're still able to win. You know, so if I win, you win, we can win together. So basically, that's the signature song, man. It gives you just snippets of, you know, parts of my life as a young boy, even, you know, now. And so that's the spiel of that whole song.
Now, is that kind of now is the album more along the same lines as I Win, or is it a different kind of, a compilation of different things?
It's a compilation of different things. So what I chose to do was give you that intro song to basically let you know who I was. Then I went into a love ballad. It's a love ballad. It's called Everything. The second song is entitled Everything. It's basically, you know, a guy telling a girl that she has everything that he needs. You know, most men, you know, won't say that, but you know, I had this one particular song in mind. Like I said, I actually wrote a lot of songs, but this was one that I needed to get on this album, and so I think it speaks volumes in the relationship of everything.
So there are 5 songs?
Total 5 songs, yes, sir.
So, you know, I'm curious because when you began writing these songs, I'm assuming now that you did them without the immediate goal of picking songs to put on an EP.
Right.
Probably over a period, I would guess a period of possibly years.
Yeah. Man, I've probably been writing my own songs probably since I was about 12. Since I was about 12 years old. I really couldn't tell you how many songs I've written, but I did. I had a big stack of papers and a big folder that was stolen from me years ago. So that kind of stalled me for a while because I had a lot of creative writing in that folder that was stolen. But I picked it back up. Here I am.
So I'm curious, with all of the songs that you had to choose from, what made you pick the 5 that you picked for?
Right. So I picked the 5 just to try and be diverse, to show my versatility. Just trying to give, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just to cater to this audience, cater to that audience. I think on the Everything song, I think it's more of the old school, it has an old school vibe. I also have a ballad on there that, you know, could cater to the older generation as well as the new generation. And there's also a song on there called With You. That's the one that we shot the video for. I think everybody actually loves that one too.
I'm curious, Mike. And I know you play with piano and keyboard.
Yes, sir.
So, so when you, I guess when you go in the studio and you working with other people, the collaboration piece, I guess, and the mastering and the producing. Because I'm looking here, I see you. All the songs are written by you, but the producers and all of this. What is that process? Give us a snapshot. What does that look like?
Okay, so basically, what I would do, well, what I did with this particular project is I worked with 2 different producers on this album. There was a guy by the name of Marcus Singleton. He's out of Rome as well. Awesome guy. Has a studio of his own. Actually going to be working with him this year as well. Basically shot him the original songs that I had did, told him what I was trying to do. He recut the tracks, meaning he went in and put his own flavor to it. I love to hear the guy play. He's a monster on the keys and drums and everything. And so what he did, he went in, sent me the tracks through email. I said I liked them. We worked out something, got them to me. I went to the studio, recorded. 2 other songs on there, the I Win and the Everything, is by a guy named Lee Mims. What I did, I went on BeatStars, beatstars.com, and I heard this particular genre of music that I hadn't heard before, and this was the style that I was going for. If anybody tell you, they'll tell you I sound like an Anthony Hamilton or a John Legend or something like that. And so when I heard that those particular tracks, I reached out to him, and he was at a point where he was saying to himself, he was like, man, I don't have the drive to do this anymore. And so when I reached out to him, I told him, I said, dude, I need these tracks. He said, are you serious? And so he said that I gave him life in wanting to use his tracks. And so he sent me those tracks, cut me a great deal on those, and here we are, man.
And see, and that's what's interesting to me, because the industry, and granted, I'm limited in my knowledge, but the industry is not like it was in the classic Motown. You know, it's not, this is a person you never met.
Right.
And he's producing beats and things somewhere totally different.
Yep.
But yet with media and with social media, now artists can come together and collaborate to make a song without ever meeting each other.
Without ever meeting each other.
And so, I mean, so it really has changed.
Yeah.
And in some ways that is great. I'm quite sure in some ways purists may not like it in some ways, but I'm saying that now, as a person, if you're really interested in the industry, it is so much easier now to access things that you would years ago. You'd have to have a studio, you gotta have all these different things. So now you can cut out a lot of that. When you go to the studio, you ready. And so now you paying for the time, not necessarily trying to perfect it. It's already ready to go.
Exactly. Everything is at the touch of a button, man. It's amazing how quick you can get something done, man. If you got a template, man, to, you know, how, and the best thing about it is what you want to do, you always want to pre-produce. Pre-produce means me knowing how I'm going to attack this song when I go in the actual studio. So basically at home, I would have, I have a setup, I have a keyboard, knowing, you know, background vocals here, background vocals there. Am I going to punch in right here to redo this? It's very important, it's key, because time is money, and everybody knows that. So, you know, I would suggest, and my biggest advice that I would give to upcoming artists and those who are trying to break into the industry, just have all your ducks in a row, basically, before you even go to attempt to, you know, record a song.
Because then I hear a couple of young people that I'm around, and they always talk about going to the studio, and I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you know, but going, understanding the steps involved.
Yeah.
So that if I'm going and I'm maximizing my time.
Right.
And if I'm spending money, I'm spending, you know, I'm getting the most from my money, not just going in, laying down tracks, but kind of understanding. And so, you know, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to listen to it as soon as we leave here.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
But I'm excited for you, because I just think, you know, I win is a win for all of us, especially for people in Rome, young people in Rome, and especially for young people in Rome that look like you and I.
Yeah.
That sometimes we really need to see ourselves being successful. And doing good things. And so I'm excited for you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate it.
The experience of working with the producers, I wonder what did that feel, did you feel at any point like you were sacrificing some of your ownership of the song to someone else's vision of it, or was it easy to work with somebody else?
It was very easy to work with these particular producers, man. You know, like I said, Marcus Singleton, I grew up with this guy, grew up with him, went to high school with him, graduated with him, reached out to him, and we just clicked, man. Have always clicked. As I mentioned, I'll be working with him again this year on the new album. Actually going to release another album by the end of the year that I'm working on as we speak. The guy Lee Mims that I reached out to, it was destined to happen just like that, just because he said that. I approached him. I came to him at a point in his life where he was kind of down, and I lifted him up, man, and that was definitely destiny, I think.
All right, so I have to ask, do you write the words first or the music first?
Depends on the mood, man. Depends on the mood. I may be riding, or I may hear a tune in my head. I'll, pull out my phone, hit the record button, or like I said, I may search on the internet, see if I hear a track that I really like. Sometimes I'll already have something written to go with the track, or I may just completely go cold turkey and start writing to a track. So it just depends on the mood, yeah.
So there's not any one way that you do
Not
it?
one way, no.
Yeah.
Now, I am curious. I know that Jow Dowdy and some other people have done some projects. Rome has a lot of talent.
They do, man.
I mean, I think there's a lot of unknown talent in the music industry in Rome.
Yep.
And so it would be interesting to see, maybe we'll have to get all y'all together at one point to kind of do some seminars or something, just to, I don't know if people realize that in Rome, in South Rome, and in some of these places, you have some studios, some music studios. You have people that are unknown, but they are doing things.
Right.
And are creating an environment.
Correct.
Where greatness can come out of.
Yep.
And so, I don't know, that's probably one of the things we don't know about Rome.
Yeah.
Well, we are coming up on another break. When we come back, we will give you again the particulars on how you can have some of this music for yourself. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Mikey Jones about his new EP, I Win, which you can own. If you want the actual CD, what is the best way to get that?
The best way is to any downloadable site, iTunes, Google Play. You can actually go to Google, type in my name, it'll come up, Mikey L. Jones. You can also go to my website. It's www.mikeymusique, spelled musique.com, and it'll be available for purchase on the website as well.
So there are a lot of places that people can go.
Pretty much.
So a little creative Googling, you should find it without any difficulty. You found it pretty quickly.
iTunes.
And if you, like I say, if you're still old school and you want an actual physical CD, you can also get that as well. I can meet you or come to you or whatever needed.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me.
And thank you. We'll see you next time on Community Watch.